My wife's betrayal hit me like a sucker punch at my big award night in Seattle's Grand Meridian Hotel, where chandeliers glittered and the city's elite clapped for my tech empire's success. I, Ethan Carter, 38, stood tall, ready to claim Entrepreneur of the Year, my chest swelling with pride after years of grinding. Laura, my wife of 8 years, 35, glowed in her emerald dress, her smile a mask I thought I knew. We were the perfect couple, or so I believed, until she leaned in close, her perfume familiar but her words ablaze. "After your speech, Ethan," she whispered, her breath hot, "I'm leaving with Mike for Vegas. Don't embarrass yourself." Mike, my business partner, my friend, the guy I'd built this company with. My stomach twisted, but the room, full of suits, smiles, and clinking glasses, kept me grounded. "You're joking," I hissed, eyes locked on hers. She didn't flinch. "I'm done pretending. I need this. We'll talk Monday." Her cold certainty stung worse than the betrayal itself. I forced a neutral smile, shaking hands as my name was called for the award. Mike sat a few tables away, his grin smug, like he'd already won. Sarah, his ex-wife, looked pale beside him, her eyes darting nervously. Did she know something? My mind raced, but I couldn't crack, not here. I had to play the part, successful, composed, untouchable. The crowd's applause felt hollow as I climbed the stage, gripping the podium. My speech was ready, polished, about hustle and community. But when it came to thanking Laura, my throat tightened. I skipped her name entirely. The silence was sharp, her glare from the table a warning. She noticed, and I didn't care. In that moment, I knew she wasn't the woman I married. This wasn't just a fling, it was a declaration of war. And I'd fight back, not with fists, but with something sharper. I descended the stage, the crowd's applause fading as Laura's glare burned into me. My skip tribute wasn't just a jab, it was a line drawn. Back at our table, she leaned in, her whisper venomous. "Skipping me? Real mature, Ethan." I ignored her, my pulse hammering, but my face stayed stone. Mike's smug grin across the room fueled my resolve. I wouldn't let them humiliate me in front of Seattle's elite. The gala swirled on, laughter, toasts, but my mind was elsewhere, plotting. Post-ceremony, I pulled Laura into a shadowed corner, away from prying eyes. "Last chance," I said, voice low, steady. "Walk out with him, and you lose everything, marriage, home, us." Her laugh was sharp, mocking. "You're so dramatic, Ethan. I'll call you Monday." "Maybe." She linked arms with Mike, her heels clicking as they strode out, leaving me in a haze of betrayal. I stayed, shaking hands, smiling for photos, but my thoughts churned. How had it come to this? 8 years, shared dreams, now shattered. Alone in our Capitol Hill home that night, I couldn't sleep. Laura's words looped, cold, calculated. Then a memory hit, Sarah, at a company retreat months ago, her voice shaky, hinting at Mike's reckless secret. I'd dismissed it as gossip, but now it gnawed at me. At dawn, I called her. "Ethan, it's worse than you think," she said, voice tight. "Mike's hiding something dangerous, not just from me but from Laura." My blood chilled as she revealed his concealed health risk, a ticking bomb Laura didn't see. I paced, anger mixing with dread. This wasn't just infidelity, it was reckless, life-altering. I had to warn her, not for love, but for duty. And Mike? He'd pay for crossing me. My empire wasn't built on weakness. I'd dismantle their betrayal, piece by legal piece, and they'd learn what happens when you underestimate Ethan Carter. Sarah's words echoed as I hung up, the weight of Mike's secret sinking in, a health risk he hid, endangering Laura without a care. My anger surged, but I channeled it. Revenge would be cold, calculated, and legal. Saturday morning, I dialed Laura, knowing she was in Vegas, lost in her delusion. She answered, voice dripping with smugness. "What, Ethan?" "I'm busy." I swallowed my fury. "Laura, come home. Mike's dangerous. He's hiding a serious health issue." Sarah told me everything. Her laugh cut through, cruel and dismissive. "You're pathetic, lying to control me." Mike's better than you ever were. She hung up, her words a slap, but they only sharpened my focus. She'd chosen her path, now I'd pave mine. I called my lawyer, Karen Voss, a sharp woman who'd seen it all. We met at her downtown office, the Seattle skyline gray behind her. I laid out Laura's betrayal, Mike's secret, and their brazen exit at the gala. Divorce her, I said, on adultery grounds. The prenup's tight. And I want Mike out of the company. Karen scanned our partnership agreement, nodding. Mike's behavior violates the ethics clause. We can dissolve his stake. But we need proof. I slid over Laura's taunting texts and a recorded clip from the gala where Mike boasted about their plans. This'll work, Karen said, a glint in her eye. Start with Laura's assets, cards, access. Then we hit Mike. I left, a plan forming. Back home, I cancelled Laura's credit cards. Her shopping spree's now a memory. I changed every lock on our house, the deed mine alone. Her clothes, jewelry, yoga mat, everything went into trash bags, stuffed into her BMW in the driveway. I left just enough room for her to drive. Photos of us? Shredded. By evening, Laura was erased from my home, my life. This was only the beginning. They'd feel the full weight of their betrayal soon. Sunday, I woke with a clarity that cut through the fog of betrayal. Laura's things sat in her BMW outside, a silent testament to her eviction. I wasn't done. Every trace of our life together had to go. I tore down our wedding portrait, the frame splintering as it hit the floor. Her scented candles, her books, her half-empty coffee mug, into the trash. The house, once ours, was mine again, a fortress against her return. I called Diane, Laura's mom, who'd always treated me like a son. Diane, Laura's made her choice, I said, voice steady. She's not welcome here, but she'll need you. Diane sighed, her disappointment palpable. She's lost her way, Ethan. I'll take her in, but she'll learn the hard way. I thanked her, a flicker of warmth in the cold resolve. By afternoon, I turned to Mike. Karen had texted. Our case against him was solid, but I needed more. I dug through company emails, finding hints of Mike's shady deals, small betrayals that predated Laura. He'd been playing me for years. I forwarded everything to Karen, each piece tightening the noose. That evening, I sat in my study, the city lights flickering beyond. Laura sent a text, a photo of her and Mike poolside in Vegas, captioned, "Living my best life." I didn't reply, forwarding it to Karen as evidence. Her taunts only fueled me. I wasn't the broken man she expected. I was Ethan Carter, who'd built an empire from nothing, and I'd rebuild my life the same way. Tomorrow, Laura would return, expecting to waltz back in. She'd find her keys useless, her life packed away. Mike, too, would face a reckoning. His smug grin wouldn't last. I leaned back, the plan crystallizing. They thought they'd humiliated me, but I was steps ahead. The gala, their laughter, her cold dismissal, they'd pay for every second. Not with violence, but with the law, my sharpest weapon. Monday would be their unraveling, and I'd be ready. Monday evening, the Seattle sky was bruised with clouds as Mike's Tesla pulled into my driveway. Laura stepped out, her confidence from Vegas replaced by a hesitant frown. Mike didn't glance at her, speeding off like a coward who knew the storm was coming. She fumbled with her keys at the door, then pounded, her voice sharp. "Ethan! Open this!" I let her stew, savoring the moment, before opening the door, calm as ice. "Your stuff's in your car, Laura. You don't live here." Her face twisted, shock giving way to fury. "You're overreacting. It was one weekend." I stepped closer, voice low. "You chose Mike. You mocked me when I warned you. Now live with it. Go to your mom's, she knows." Her eyes widened. "You told her?" I nodded, handing her a folder from Sarah, proof of Mike's dangerous secret. "Read it. You should have listened." Her hands shook as she scanned the pages, her bravado crumbling. "This can't be true," she whispered, then lurched to the grass, vomiting as the truth hit. She sank to her knees, sobbing. "Ethan, please, I was stupid. We can fix this. Her tears were real, but they didn't move me. You killed our marriage, Laura. Get tested. Move on. I shut the door, her cries muffled but piercing. Inside, I felt no pity, only a strange calm. She'd chosen this, ignored my warning, and now faced the consequences. I poured a coffee, the house quiet, mine again. Karen called, confirming the divorce papers were ready, and Mike's dissolution was in motion. You've got him, she said. He won't see it coming. I nodded, picturing his smug face tomorrow. Laura's breakdown was just the start. Mike's empire, our empire, was next to fall. I built it, and I'd tear his part down, legally, ruthlessly. They thought they could break me, but I was just getting started. Tomorrow, the office would be a battlefield, and I was armed. Tuesday morning, I walked into our downtown Seattle office, the air thick with unspoken tension. My staff sensed something big, their whispers trailing me. Mike strolled in at 9, his usual swagger intact, grinned smug as ever. He had no idea the trap was set. Security flanked him at the door, their faces stone. What's this, Ethan? He snapped, irritation creeping in. I gestured to the chair across my desk. Sit, Mike. We're done. He hesitated, then sat, his bravado slipping. I slid the dissolution papers over, pointing to the ethics clause. Your actions, betraying me, endangering Laura with your secret, void our agreement. You're out. His face paled as I played a recording from the gala, his own voice boasting about their Vegas plans. You can't, he stammered. I already have. I cut in, handing him Sarah's proof of his hidden health risk. This goes to the authorities next. His eyes darted, panic replacing arrogance. Ethan, we're partners. Don't do this. I leaned forward, voice cold. You stopped being my partner when you crossed me. You're a liability. Security stepped closer, badges ready to confiscate. Mike's threats, suing, dragging my name, fell flat as I played his recorded boast again. Save it for court, I said. They escorted him to his office, watching him pack under their gaze. He tried small talk, but they were silent. By 10, he was gone, the office lighter, like a storm had passed. I addressed the staff later, voice steady. Mike's out. Your jobs are safe. We move forward. Whispers faded. They trusted me. Karen texted. The police were reviewing Sarah's evidence. Mike's arrest was imminent. I leaned back, the weight of betrayal lifting. Laura was gone, Mike was finished, and I stood taller. They'd underestimated me, but I'd won this round. The law was my weapon, and justice was closing in. Tomorrow I'd rebuild, but today I savored the victory. The office buzzed with a new energy Wednesday, my solo leadership settling in. Mike's absence was a relief, but the fallout loomed. Clients needed reassuring, and I spent the day on calls, projecting confidence. By noon, Karen called with news. Mike had been arrested at a cheap motel, charged with reckless endangerment based on Sarah's testimony and Laura's statement. The case was airtight. His own words, recorded, sealed his fate. I didn't smile. This wasn't joy, just closure. Laura, I heard from Diane, had moved in with her, starting medical checkups, her life a shadow of its former shine. I felt no pity, she'd chosen her path. Back home, the house felt oddly still, stripped of Laura's presence. I poured a whiskey, staring at the city lights. 8 years of marriage, gone in a weekend. Trust, once my foundation, felt like a ghost. I wasn't broken, but I was guarded, my focus now on the company. I reworked contracts, promoted loyal staff, and planned a rebrand to erase Mike's stain. Days blurred into weeks, the trial a distant hum. Mike's conviction came swiftly, 15 years, the judge unyielding. Sarah moved away, starting fresh. I envied her clean break. My social life shrank, friends pushed me to date, but I wasn't ready. Betrayal lingered, a scar I didn't hide but didn't flaunt. Work was my anchor, each deal a step toward rebuilding. Yet late at night doubts crept in. Had I missed signs with Laura? Could I trust again? I shoved those thoughts down, focusing on what I could control. The company thrived, my name stronger without Mike's shadow. I wasn't the man Laura betrayed anymore. I was sharper, wiser. Still, a quiet part of me wondered if I'd ever feel whole, not just successful. Seattle's rain fell outside, mirroring my mood. I wasn't done healing, but I was moving forward, one deliberate step at a time, my empire intact, my heart a work in progress. Months passed, the chaos of Laura and Mike's betrayal fading into a dull ache. My company soared, Seattle's tech scene buzzing about our rebrand. I was Ethan Carter, the man who'd turned betrayal into triumph, but alone, the victory felt hollow. My Capitol Hill home, once alive with Laura's laughter, was a silent shell. I filled my days with work, avoiding the void of my personal life. Friends tried setting me up, but trust was a bridge I couldn't cross. Then, at a company picnic by Lake Washington, everything shifted. Rachel, my assistant, introduced her sister, Emily, 34, a graphic designer with warm hazel eyes and a guarded smile. She'd been through her own divorce, her ex leaving her for another woman. We talked, our scars a quiet bond, nothing forced, just easy. "Betrayal changes you," she said, her voice soft but steady. I nodded, feeling seen. We exchanged numbers, no pressure, just a spark. Coffee turned into dinners, then long walks through Pike Place, sharing stories of hurt and hope. Emily didn't push, either did I. Trust grew slowly, like a plant in rocky soil. One night, over wine at her cozy Belltown apartment, she laughed at my bad cooking attempt, and I realized I was smiling, really smiling, for the first time in months. She was different, not a replacement for Laura but a partner in rebuilding. I opened up about the gala, Laura's cruelty, Mike's fall. Emily listened, her hand on mine, no judgment. "You didn't just survive," she said. "You rewrote your story." Her words hit deep. I wasn't just a victim, I was a creator. By fall, I knew I loved her, not with the naive rush of youth but with a hard-earned certainty. Emily was my equal, her own scars making her stronger. I wasn't whole yet, but with her, I felt closer. Seattle's skyline glowed outside, and for once, the future didn't scare me, it called. A year after the gala, I stood on a rainy Seattle pier, Emily beside me, her hand warm in mine. The city's lights shimmered on the water, and my heart raced, not from fear, but from certainty. I turned to her, raindrops on her lashes, and pulled out a simple ring. "Emily, you've shown me trust isn't a myth. Marry me?" Her smile, wide and unguarded, was my answer. "Yes," she whispered, and we kissed, the rain our only witness. Planning our June wedding felt like building a new world. We chose a small venue in Fremont, intimate, just family and close friends. Emily's designs adorned the invites, her creativity a light I hadn't known I needed. We booked a Hawaiian honeymoon, dreaming of sunlit beaches and quiet nights. Diane, Laura's mom, was invited. She'd always been kind, and I wanted her to see my happiness. Laura's whereabouts were a mystery. Diane said she was rebuilding, but I didn't care. That chapter was closed. Work stayed steady, my company a beacon in Seattle's tech scene. Emily joined as a consultant, her ideas sparking new projects. We were a team, in love and in life. Yet scars lingered. Late at night, I'd wake, haunted by Laura's laugh or Mike's grin. Emily understood, sharing her own ghosts. We healed together, not erasing the past but growing beyond it. One evening, sorting wedding RSVPs, I found a note from Sarah, now in Oregon. "You deserve this, Ethan," she wrote. I smiled, grateful for her escape from Mike's shadow. Our wedding loomed, a promise of joy, but I stayed vigilant. Laura's silence felt too quiet, like a storm brewing. I pushed the thought aside, focusing on Emily's laugh, her hand in mine. Betrayal had shaped me, but it didn't own me. With Emily, I was writing a new story, one of trust, love, and a future I could believe in. Seattle's rain fell softer now, a backdrop to our beginning. The wedding came, a crisp June day in Fremont, Seattle's quirky heart. Emily walked toward me in a simple white dress, her hazel eyes locking with mine. The small crowd, friends, family, Diane, faded as I saw only her. We vowed to build, not break, to trust through scars. Diane hugged me after, whispering, "You've found your home." The reception was alive with laughter, music, and Emily's infectious joy. We danced under string lights, my heart full, the pain of Laura's betrayal a distant echo. Weeks later, in Hawaii, we lay on a Maui beach, stars above, her head on my chest. "We made it," she said, and I knew she meant more than the trip. Back in Seattle, life settled into a rhythm. Emily's designs boosted our company, and I mentored young entrepreneurs, paying forward my second chance. Laura's name surfaced once. Diane mentioned she'd moved east, working a quiet job. Her spark dimmed. I felt no satisfaction, only detachment. Mike, still in prison, was a footnote, his empire dust. Emily and I bought a home in Queen Anne, a fixer-upper we poured love into, much like ourselves. We hosted dinners, laughed with friends, and planned a future. Maybe kids, maybe just us and the city. Trust, once shattered, grew stronger with her. Yet, a final twist lingered. A letter arrived, no return address, Laura's handwriting. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I was wrong." I showed Emily, expecting anger, but she shrugged. "Burn it," she said, smiling. I did, the ashes scattering in our backyard. That night, I held her close, Seattle's skyline glowing beyond. Betrayal had tested me, but I'd won, not by revenge, but by living well. Emily was my proof, my partner in a life I'd fought for. The past was gone, the future ours. I wasn't the man Laura broke. I was the man who rebuilt, stronger, whole. And with Emily, I'd keep building, no matter what came next. Our Queen and home hummed with life, Emily's laughter filling rooms once silent with Laura's betrayal. We renovated it together, sanding floors, painting walls, each stroke a metaphor for our healing. Seattle's tech scene crowned me a survivor, my company a beacon of resilience. Emily's designs won awards, her creativity intertwining with my vision. We hosted barbecues, friends toasting our love, but shadows lingered. I'd catch myself checking locks, expecting Laura's return. Emily noticed, squeezing my hand. "We're safe," she'd say, grounding me. One night, a news alert pinged. Mike, up for parole, his charm swaying the board. Anger flared, but Emily calmed me. "He's nothing to us." I nodded, letting it go. Diane visited, sharing Laura's struggle, a small apartment, a quiet life, no fight left. I felt no triumph, only peace. Emily and I planned a trip, not an escape but a celebration, Japan, cherry blossoms, a new chapter. At work, I launched a mentorship program, guiding young dreamers like I once was. Emily joined, her warmth inspiring them. Our scars, once raw, were now stories we shared, not wounds. A late spring evening, we sat on our porch, Seattle's skyline twinkling. Emily rested against me, her voice soft. "We're not just survivors, Ethan. We're builders." I kissed her, knowing she was right. Laura and Mike had tried to break me, but they'd forged something stronger. Trust, once shattered, was now my foundation, built with Emily's love. The city hummed below, alive with possibility. I wasn't the man who stood on that gala stage, betrayed and blindsided. I was Ethan Carter, architect of my future, with a woman who saw my cracks and loved me anyway. As rain fell, I smiled, ready for whatever came next, knowing we'd face it together. Our story wasn't just redemption. It was a testament to what rises when you refuse to stay broken. And with Emily, I'd keep rising, no matter the storm. As the Seattle rain falls, my story with Emily blooms where betrayal once stung. From Laura's cruel exit to a love that healed, life taught me resilience. Join us on this journey. Subscribe to catch every twist, like this video to fuel more tales, and comment, what story of redemption do you want next? Your voice shapes our path.